We recap the first round of the PIAA state basketball playoffs. Plus, we head down the shore to Atlantic City to look at the New Jersey State Wrestling Championships. Next on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN. Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought. Let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein, joined as always by Mike Samsel. And first weekend is in the books for the PIAA state playoffs. We had some monster upsets that we're going to get to.
What just happened, I think, is the story of the first round of this state tournament. It was crazy. Abington loses. Roman Catholic loses. District 1 goes 2-8 in 6A. What just happened?
Well, let's talk about what just happened. We'll start with Roman. You brought that up. Perk Valley, who went 1-4 in the District 1 tournament and playbacks. They lost their last 4 games, and they beat the 2-time defending state champs.
That's a riddle. I didn't think you could do that and even make states anymore. But Perk Valley comes out a huge 57-55 win over Roman Catholic. Now, I don't want to say an asterisk because it sounds disrespectful to PV, who earned a really good win. But Nolan Greer the third in that game. That matters.
Right.
That's a big deal. Justin Jaworski came to play in this game, though. Ended up finishing with 27 points. They lost to Cheltenham, the 8th seed. They got in. They were the last team in from District 1. They were the 8th seed in District 1, and here they are knocking off the Cahillites. Unbelievable.
It's amazing because they barely got by the 16th seed Garnet Valley. Then they lose to Cheltenham. Then they go to the playbacks and lose to North Penn and Penwood. But, hey.
And not by a little bit either.
No, that's right. They lost by double digits in both of those games. But while that's a big upset, Roman was minus Lindgren III. How about Abington, the number 1 team out of District 1? They lose in overtime to Central Dauphin East out of District 3. This one just blew me away.
It really did, and this is the same thing that Abington did back in 2015. They won the districts and then went out in the first round of the state playoffs. Abington at one point led this game by 15 in the third quarter.
Wow.
But in talking to PA Live and City of Basketball Love, their head coach, Charles Grasty, just said, when we were up 15, I just didn't like our shot selection. Something just didn't feel right. And then get this, Central Dauphin East in overtime missed 6 free throws.
Oh my God.
And still won. Now, Eric Dixon goes off for 31 points and 12 rebounds. Central Dauphin East in overtime misses 6 free throws. That's another riddle. How does Central Dauphin East win?
That's unreal. If you told me that those things happened without telling me the final score, I said, oh, Abington wins the game.
Right.
Even though it was close in overtime. So Abington's out. Roman Catholic is out. The top teams from District 1 and District 12, respectively. Who's the last hope here? PW, in fact, might look like the favorite here in 6A.
They really do. Plymouth Whitemarsh with a nice 80-64 win over Lebanon in the first round. They're definitely the last hope for District 1, but they might be the favorite throughout this tournament. Everybody kind of slept on Plymouth Whitemarsh throughout the season, and all they did was quietly keep winning basketball games. And looking at that part of the bracket, it sets up fairly nicely for them. They got a tough matchup coming up here, but I think things lay out well for Plymouth Whitemarsh, and they're definitely the last hope for District 1. They're only one of 2 teams remaining.
Yeah, really, them and PV.
Yeah.
PW, I love their 7-footer Naeem McLeod. I mean, that is a matchup that nobody else is going to have in this tournament. But you mentioned at the top, District 1 goes 2-8 in the first round.
Yeah.
Penwood, North Penn loses to Reading. No surprise there, really. Lower Merion goes down. Downingtown West, Cheltenham loses in a close game to Emmaus. Conestoga and Coatesville goes down. Out of those other 6 losses other than PV and Abington, do any of those stand out as surprises?
Coatesville stands out a little bit, that much.
Yeah.
Because this is a team that struggled their way through the Chessmont tournament. They won it, but they kind of struggled. They got all the way to Villanova. They got to the District 1 championship game. They ended up losing to a good Abington team. You know, no shame in that. So the Coatesville loss surprises me a little bit. But of those teams in District 1, I would say the most stunning is Abington. I thought Abington had a real chance to win 6A altogether. and to lose in the first round, just stunning.
Yeah, that is the stunner. I mean, you mentioned Coatesville going down to Carlisle. That's a good Carlisle team. Cheltenham, they lose to a good Emmaus team, and Cheltenham really looked good.
And
in the
Emmaus is
tournament.
always a team that does stuff in this tournament.
Right, so 2 teams left in District 1 out of 10 at the 6A level, so it should be an exciting remaining tournament. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have more next here on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Flippin' Shakes has everything from burgers to sandwiches to delicious milkshakes. The Sports Fan Base Network crew chows down on a variety of favorites, from classic egg creams to the trending mac and cheese burger. Located at 233 2nd Street Pike in Southampton, you can dine in or take out. Flippin' Shakes, great food, great service, a flippin' good time.
This segment is brought to you by Valley Financial Group, certified financial planners that organize your financial life and design plans for leaving your legacy. Valley Financial Group, helping you live the life you earned.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. We've talked a lot about basketball this past winter, but wrestling is just as intense of a sport. So we talked to a couple of brothers from Kingsway High School who are fully entrenched in the sport of wrestling.
My family's been wrestling all their lives, and every single year we've been in Atlantic City. My uncle runs it, so we actually used to be runners on the mat, and we would watch all these people win, and we all wanted that when we were little. So just growing up, we would train hard just thinking about that. So wrestling on those mats and seeing all your family all excited when you win, it feels great. And then you run over there and give them all hugs and then just get ready for your next match. So it's awesome wrestling there. Atlantic City is definitely very competitive because every kid comes in and they all want to be state champs. So every match is a battle.
Yeah, like you said, everybody wants to be a state champ. You don't go there wanting to get on the podium, wanting to place. Go there just for the experience. If you're there to win it. So, I mean, everybody has the same goal. Everybody's going to rush for their goal. You're fighting hard for every point, like you said. So every match is pretty much close. And, I mean, you have to respect every kid like he's #1 in the country. I mean, you have all tough matches. There's nothing easy. You don't take anything for granted. And like I said, going into the finals, the toughest obstacle might have been just controlling your excitement, controlling yourself, making sure you didn't get overly focused on it was a state finals, how many people are there. You just making sure you're ready to go and ready to wrestle.
After I lost in the quarters, it was definitely hard because obviously my dream of being a state champ was gone, but you just have to get a mindset to compete and come back and just wrestle hard, and I think I definitely did that. My coach was telling me the whole time, you're going to regret it if you don't come back. So I just took that approach and wrestled hard every match and came back and took fourth.
That was definitely awesome. It was an experience that I'll remember forever. I mean, you know you're in the state finals, so you're excited for that, but then I mean, we're family. We're as close as brothers can be. We're best friends, too. So I want to see him win. I want to see him wrestle back, take third. I knew it was going to be a tough fight. Like he said, I saw him upset that he couldn't be a state champ anymore, but I still knew he would wrestle back. I knew he would give it everything he had. So I was just going to be out there, hopefully watching it happen. That was definitely the best experience of my life. I mean, just overwhelming, just happiness, excitement. You just want to hug everybody you see. I jumped right into my coach's arms right afterwards, and then jumped into my dad and brother's arms. Those are two memories I'll never forget. I mean, we went out of bounds with 7 seconds left, and that's kind of when it struck, like, and it hit me. I was like, I have this. There's 7 seconds before I really become a state champ. And then I saw, once I heard the buzzer, it was just, there was no feeling it like it. I don't know if I'd say pressure. I mean, there's a lot of excitement going in. Everybody wants to win, like we said before. Everybody there has the goal to win. Just being in that finals was such a great experience. It was definitely one of the best experiences of my life. And you just get so excited that the main goal there is actually to stay, like, be able to control your excitement. I mean, you want to stay focused and know what the task on hand is, and you want to make sure you're ready to go when you go out there.
It was the best feeling in the world. Just knowing you wrestle with your brother every day, and this was the goal since we were little. And even though I didn't get my state total, it still felt like I was a state champ basically, because my whole family was there and we were all celebrating together. So it felt amazing to see him win. Well, my Uncle Greg used to tease us all the time that he had the record of taking third at states, so Quinn beat that this year, and we joked around with him a little bit, but I mean, it feels good. Everyone used to wrestle in my family, obviously, so it feels good to just go in there, and they all know how hard it takes, or what it takes to get on that, even just get on that podium. So.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, everybody wrestled in our family, so they all know, like, what it takes to get there and the work that we put in. So, I mean, it feels great. I mean, they know what's happening, so they're on the sideline. They're cheering, telling us what to do, yelling moves. And, I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, you go back and hug all your family, and then you go to parties, joke around with your family about it, and joke around with my Uncle Greg about how I just beat his record. It's just, it brings us all together. I mean, we're as close to family as you can be, and we just all love the sport of wrestling, so it's an awesome thing.
Serving the community since 1974, Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center is perfect for the whole family. We provide a complete schedule of children's activities for ages 2.5 through 12 and a full-service fitness center for teens, adults, and seniors. Our sports arena features year-round roller hockey and seasonal indoor soccer leagues. Tennis, racquetball, aquatics, basketball, dance, karate, group exercise classes are all available to groups of all ages. Stop by and bring the whole family to the Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center at the corner of Cruisetown Road and Grand Avenue.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Get pain-free physical therapy. At PTW, we know that sometimes physical therapy can be tough and painful, so we do whatever we can to get you feeling pain-free again. Each one of our centers is equipped with an Alter-G anti-gravity treadmill or warm water therapy pool to unload your aching joints. From pre- and post-surgery rehab, fitness programs, and work injury rehab, PTW is your go-to therapy provider. Call or visit us online to schedule your PTW visit today.
Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you like pro sports?
Yeah.
Do you like college sports?
Of course.
Do you like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN.
This segment is brought to you by Sluggersville, Philadelphia's first premier year-round indoor baseball and softball training facility. With over 40,000 square feet of turf and 22 cages, Sluggersville is the largest of its kind in the area. Call 215-673-1258 to schedule your rental or training session.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. We are joined again by Aaron Ace Carter of the Philadelphia Inquirer. And Ace, District 12 had a pretty good weekend in the first round of the state playoffs, but we talked about it earlier, Mike. Roman goes down to Perkiomen Valley in the first round. A two-time defending state champ goes down. A little bit of a surprise here.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise, but again, this Roman team, totally different team from the last few years. You know, they've lost some senior leadership. They're all in Penn State now. But this team had another loss. Late in the season, Catholic League semifinals against Newman Gretti, they lose Lynn Greer, knee injury during warm-ups of that game. And to lose such a dynamic piece, your starting point guard, even though he's a freshman, he does a lot for that team, sort of changes the dynamic for everyone else. You see Seth Lundy in that game, only finishes with 5 points. And Roman itself sort of got off to a slow start, never really recovered. They do make a run in the third quarter, but, you know, Perkiomen Valley held on. And a really impressive win that they go into St. Joe's Prep, a place that Roman's familiar with, and they get that victory.
And this was one of those games where it felt like the whole time you're just waiting on Roman to make that run. They take the lead. We've seen this basketball game 100 times where the upset team is winning, one big play happens, and then it's over. Well, that big play happened. Under 2 minutes to play, Roman took a 49-48 lead, and everybody thought, okay, we're done here. Roman's going to run away a little bit. And Justin Jaworski with just a huge answer, an and one on the very next possession, and Perk Valley never looked back.
And you have to give credit to them because the Vikings struggled a little bit in that District 1 tournament as the number 1 seed, lost a couple of games, but you have to give credit to Justin Jaworski. He played a phenomenal game. And like you said, Ace, you know, without Lynn Greer III, Seth Lundy only 5 points in that game. Alan Betran with 19 did all he could, just was not enough in the end. So now that Roman's out, the number 1 team from District 12, you still have Lincoln and Ryan, both of which won their first round games. Lincoln with the overtime win over Conestoga, and Ryan dominated Parkland 77-55. Do either of these teams, in your opinion, Ace, have a chance to make a Cinderella run to Hershey?
I think so. I think this is now wide open. I think it was always wide open. I didn't think that Roman was the dominant team that we have seen in years past. But this Archbishop Ryan team is a talented squad. I'm a little bit surprised that they were able to muster 77 points because you're talking about a team whose main scorers are Isaiah Brockington and Matisse Kulikowskis, 2 guys that can get you 20 to 30 points a game easily on any given night. But maybe this speaks to sort of an evolution with that team's offense, or Ryan's offense. Already a good defensive team. But then you look at Lincoln. I think Lincoln would be more of a traditional sort of underdog Cinderella story in this situation. They have an interesting game against Carlisle coming up. Carlisle, I saw them early in the season. Deshaun Millington, about a 5'10 guard, dynamic, and can jump out of the gym, score from deep, score in the mid-range. It's an interesting matchup. Lincoln has Khalif Mears, who's a junior guard, about 6'2", does a little bit of everything. I like this matchup for Lincoln. It's going to be a tough haul for them.
Well, March Madness started today, and you know what this reminds me of? Remember last year when Michigan State lost in the first round and everyone went, oh, this bracket's wide open right now. Well, I think that's what we have right here. I think Archbishop Ryan really does have a ton of talent, but I really think this bracket is truly wide open. So there's really no such thing as a Cinderella run because I really do think any team that gets hot with the Cahill lights out can now win this.
Yeah, we talked about the District 1 teams earlier, and there's quite a few teams there that can make a run, but you're right. I think it really is wide open in 6A. A little bit the opposite, though, for 5A, though. Archbishop Wood, the Catholic League champions, just dominated New Oxford in their first-round game. And I will pose this question again. Can anybody beat Archbishop Wood in 5A?
No. This team is deep and talented. We talked about them all, season long. John Moscow squad, so talented, so deep. They share the ball well. They play well. It's a fun brand of basketball to watch. But it's hard pressed to find someone that's really going to push them. I think. I think though in 5A, a team that I look at that could really shake up the bracket a little bit is Archbishop Carroll. They have some young players. They've been some sort of inconsistent, but toward the end of the season, they started to pick it up. Consistency is better. Offense is, they're starting to share the ball more. A.J. Hoggard, freshman point guard for them, big body, sort of does a little bit of everything for them. Jesse McPherson is a big guy down low. So they have all the ingredients that you need. Sort of what they hadn't had early in the season was that savvy, and maybe that's coming around right now.
Yeah, if 6A is wide open, this one's wide closed. I don't think anybody can really hang with Wood. I do think Carroll does have a ton of talent, and I thought Carroll had a real chance to be feisty in the PCL playoffs, and they were to a certain extent. I just don't think they have enough. I think Archbishop Wood runs through this. They might stub their toe a time or two where it ends up being a close game, and it shouldn't. But I don't see them stubbing their toe as far as losing.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ace, they've got some young talent at Archbishop Carroll, but the key word being young. Archbishop Wood, they've got the senior leader in Colin Gillespie, and they've got guys who have been there before. So I agree with you. I think Archbishop Wood will win in 5A, and they knocked off Newman Goretti in the Catholic League Championship, but Newman Goretti still has a very good chance at winning the 3A state title. They're ranked number 1 in the state at that level, as is Del Val at number 2 out of the public league. But Newman Goretti had a very interesting first-round matchup. Talk about that, Ace.
Yeah, it's interesting. Quick story, Friday night, I went to Abraham Lincoln to see Del Val play, and I was checking Twitter. I saw that Newman Goretti's down in the first quarter, and I thought to myself, maybe I should have picked that game. Maybe I should head down over there to see if there's an upset brewing. About 5 minutes later, I checked the score again, and they outscored their opponent 21-3 in the second quarter. And it's like, all right. But yeah, this Newman Goretti team, they're talented. Anytime you have a guy like Quade Green and Damir Cosby Roundtree going to Kentucky and Villanova respectively, you're always going to be in the hunt, and you're never out of a game. So there's always that possibility you can make a huge run, which they did. But Del Val is a team that's interesting, I think, also in this bracket. They're a team that forced 35 turnovers in their first round win. Good defensive team. They struggle shooting from the outside, but this is a dangerous team, and I think they can make some noise, and I think they might wind up meeting Newman Goretti again.
Yeah, here's where I go full-on cliche analyst. Del Val just on a collision course with this team. Newman Goretti and Del Val are absolutely going to be the final, and it's a shame that they have to play in the semifinal, because the winner of that game is going to win the 3A state championship. And as I said, collision course.
I definitely agree with you there. I mean, Del Val, they will match up, I think, in the semifinals, and that should be a great game. Del Val gave them a game in the city championship, but I think ultimately Newman Goretti will win the game. But you take a look, talk about collision courses, MCS and Constitution. We've been talking about it all year. This is going to be the 4th time that they potentially will play in the state semifinals. Ace, you've covered them all year. MCS has won 2 out of 3. Will they win the 4th?
I think they have a good shot. I really do. There was some controversy at the end of that game with Constitution and MCNS a few weeks ago in the city championship game. Shahi Peoples makes a 3 to win it. Constitution got fouled at the end of the game, wanted some more time left on the clock, but they don't get it. So I know Rob Moore's team is going to be feisty and going to want revenge in that game, but the matchup itself, I think, favors MCNS. They're a better defensive team, I believe. They shoot it better from 3, and I think the Mighty Elephants will take this one again.
I would agree. I think they have an advantage, but as you said, that controversy at the end, Rob Moore's going to be drilling that in practice. When you don't want to run that last sprint, when you don't want to take those last 10 free throws, he's going to remind these kids of that feeling. That's going to be in them when this game starts. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? We'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, we shall see what happens, but a lot of potentially good matchups with these District 12 teams. Ace, thanks so much for joining us as always.
Thanks for having me.
Check out what else is coming up on the Sports Fan Base Network. Time to make our picks real quick. And Mike, let's start in 6A Archbishop Ryan out of District 12 against the surprising team, Central Dauphin East. Who you got?
Central Dauphin East, I'm so disappointed they won that game. Not from the local perspective, just from the perspective that I wanted to see Abington play Ryan so bad. I wanted to see the big band matchup with Dixon and Kulikoskis. I think Ryan has just a little bit too much scoring for this Central Dauphin East team.
I agree. I love Isaiah Brockington, so I'm taking the Raiders in this one. I think Central Dauphin East used up all their magic in that upset win over Abington. Okay, staying in 6A here, Plymouth White Marsh, maybe the top remaining team in District 1, going up against the champion from District 11, Pocono Mountain West.
And I think they go down here. I like Pocono Mountain West in this game, 22-4 on the season. They defeated Parkland. First time Parkland hasn't won that District 11 in 4 years, like Pocono Mountain West in this game.
I'm going the other way. I like PW. I think the Colonials have enough to potentially make a run. This will be possibly their toughest test here, but I'm sticking with PW. I'm going to take the Colonials. Okay, let's jump to 5A. And just like in 6A, there's only 2 teams left out of District 1, Upper Merion and Chester. So Upper Merion taking on Northeastern, who's 21-1 on the year. Who you got?
Yeah, I think District 1's going to continue to struggle this round. I really do. I'm going to go with Northeastern, 22-1 on the season. Incredibly impressive year. The winners of District 3, I think Northeastern keeps it rolling.
I'm going to go with Upper Merion. I love Matt Fall. I think Upper Merion had some momentum once Matt Fall got back healthy. So I'm going to say that they keep rolling and they win. Again, it's going to be a close game, but I'm sticking with the local teams here, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you what, this Upper Merion team is good. Matt Fall was injured early in the year, and it really kind of threw them off. They're a lower seed than they probably should be.
Yeah, we shall see what happens. And Mike, thank you for joining me as always.
Always a pleasure.
Check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by the Physical Therapy and Wellness Institute. Go to www.ptwinstitute.com to find a location near you.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. The Sports Fan Base Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.